Okay, welcome back to my channel English with Supriyadi. Now we are going to the part C, long talks. 3 talks, each followed by a number of multiple choice questions, appear in part C of the listening comprehension section of the paper TOEFL test. You will hear the talks and the questions on the recording. They are not written in your textbook. You must choose the best answer to each question from the 4 choices that are written in your textbook. Like the conversations in Part B, the talks are often about some aspect of school life or topics currently in the news. It is also very common for the talks to be shortened versions of lectures from courses taught in American colleges and universities. Example from the paper TOEFL test. On the recording, you hear narrator, questions 1 through 4. Listen to a talk about the settlement of America. Woman. The settling of the vast farmlands in central North America was delayed at least partly because of an error by one man. In the early 19th century, Lieutenant Zebulon Pike of the U.S. Army was sent out to explore and chart the huge expanses of land in the center of the continent. When he returned from his explorations, he wrote a report in which he erroneously stated that the vast plains in the central part of the continent were desert-like, comparable to the Sahara in Africa. In reality, however, these vast plains contain some of the most fertile farmland in the world. Because of Pike's mistake, the maps of the day depicted the central part of what is today the United States as a vast desert rather than the excellent and available farmland that it was. This mistaken belief about the nature of those lands caused settlers to avoid the central plains for years. Questions. Number 1. On the recording, you hear narrator. What is the topic of this talk? In your textbook, you read A. Zebulon Pike's career. B. A mistake that influenced the settlement of America. C. A report for the army. D. The farmlands. Number 2. On the recording, you hear narrator. How did Pike describe the area that he explored? In your textbook, you read A. As a desert. B. Is usable for army purposes. C. Is located in the Sahara. D. Is available for farmland. Number 3. On the recording, you hear narrator. What was this area really like? In your textbook, you read A. It was a vast desert. B. It was covered with farms. C. It was excellent farmland. D. It was similar to the Sahara. Number 4. On the recording, you hear narrator. This talk would probably be given in which of the following courses? In your textbook, you read A. Agricultural Science. B. American History. C. Geology of the United States. D. Military Science. The first question asks about the topic of the talk. The topic of the talk is found in the first sentence of the talk. The settling of the vast farmlands in central North America was delayed at least partly because of an error by one man. Therefore, the best answer to the question is B. The second question is a detailed question that asks how Pike described this area. It is stated in the talk that Pike wrote a report in which he erroneously stated that the vast plains in the central part of the continent were desert-like. Therefore, the best answer to this question is A. The third question is an additional detailed question that asks what the area was really like, because the talk indicates that, in reality, these vast plains contain some of the most fertile farmland in the world. The best answer to this question is C. The fourth question is an inference question. it asks in which course this lecture would probably be given. The word probably indicates to you that the question is not answered directly in the talk. You must draw a conclusion from the information in the talk to answer this question. Because this talk refers to the early 19th century and discusses the settling of the vast farmlands in Central North America, it would probably be given in an American history course. The best answer to this question is B. Procedures for the long talks. If you have time, preview the answers to the questions. While you are looking at the answers, you should try to do the following. Anticipate the topics of the talks you will hear. Anticipate the questions for each of the groups of answers. Listen carefully to the first line of the talk. The first line of the talk often contains the main idea, subject, or topic of the talk, and you will often be asked this type of question. As you listen to the talk, draw conclusions about the situation of the talk, who is talking, where or when the talk takes place, which course this lecture might be given in. You will often be asked to make such inferences about the talk. As you listen to the talk, follow along with the answers in your textbook and try to determine the correct answers. The three questions are generally answered in order in the talk, and the answers often sound the same as what is said on the recording. You should guess even if you are not sure. Never leave any answers blank. Use any remaining time to look ahead at the answers to the questions that follow.